UK bans large electronic devices on flights. Britain has followed the US by announcing a ban on large electronic devices and carry-on bags on direct flights to the UK from 6 countries in the Middle East and North Africa. The ban is reportedly in response to an unspecified terror threat that may include laptop bombs. The UK ban applies to all electronic devices larger than a normal smartphone, specified as 16 centimeters by 9.3 centimeters by 1.5 centimeters. Passengers with larger smartphones and devices such as tablets and laptops must put those items in their checked baggage. Eight airlines based in Turkey, Lebanon, Egypt, Jordan, Tunisia, and Saudi Arabia are affected by the UK ban. The ban also affects 6 different British airlines. One travel expert said that passengers who booked cheaper tickets with carry-on baggage only would likely be hit in the pocket. Around 1,000 passengers bound for the UK transit through Istanbul on Turkish Airlines every day. Those passengers will also have to check in larger electronics at their original point of departure, which means some long-ass flights with no iPad, Kindle, or laptop for company. Say no to safe spaces on YouTube. Support TomoNews at patreon.com/TomoNews. It could just be a matter of time before the electronics ban extends to all flights. New U.S. travel ban targets electronic devices. The U.S. government is set to ban airline passengers from carrying any electronic device larger than a cell phone in their hand luggage. According to reports, the temporary ban on electronic items and hand luggage will apply to non-stop flights to the U.S. from 8 countries in the Middle East and North Africa. 10 airports are reportedly affected. Saudi Arabia's official news agency said that flights from Riyadh and Jeddah were impacted. Royal Jordanian Airlines said the ban affects its flights to New York, Chicago, Detroit, and Montreal. Royal Jordanian said, however, that cell phones and medical devices were excluded from the ban. According to reports, the ban is in response to an unspecified terrorist threat and could be implemented as soon as Monday next week. Aviation experts said the nature of the ban suggested the government was acting on intelligence about a possible terrorist attack. They speculated the government may be concerned about insufficient passenger screening or conspiracies involving airport insiders in the affected countries. Schoolgirl gets past Moscow airport security and flies to St. Petersburg. An 11-year-old schoolgirl, driven by her strong desire to see St. Petersburg, managed to get past airport security without a ticket or any ID at Moscow's Vnukovo airport last Monday. The security video shows the girl walking around in a crowd of passengers waiting to be checked by the customs officials. After deciding which line to take, she successfully sneaks past the officials by walking behind 2 passengers, then boards a plane to fly all the way to St. Petersburg. Both the airport and Russia Airlines, which somehow allowed the girl to board the flight without her providing any identification, are now facing an investigation.
Entitled Doctor's Wife Bashes Airport Staff with U.S. Passport. This video has gone viral in Taiwan after a prominent plastic surgeon's wife lost her cool with staff at Taoyuan International Airport. Du Xing Wang, aged 62, is a prominent and well-renowned plastic surgeon in Taiwan. His wife generally stays out of the limelight, but this past week it was her turn to catch the nation's gaze. Dr. and Mrs. Wang were meant to fly out on an international flight, but Dr. Wang began feeling ill a few hours before the flight. Unable to cancel their tickets at the last minute, the couple decided to still try to make the flight. After checking and passing through security, Dr. Wang began throwing up while he and his wife waited in the VIP lounge. The two decided to forego the flight and contacted airport staff about canceling their tickets and reclaiming their luggage. Airport staff then provided a wheelchair for Dr. Wang and helped the couple exit the secure area of the airport. Unfortunately, after 30 minutes of walking, Mrs. Wang lost her patience and began yelling at security staff. She even whipped out her U.S. passport and waved it around, telling staff they better be careful or else she was going to have them all fired. Mrs. Wang demanded to know what the holdup was and why her and her husband were still being kept waiting. Staff attempted to explain that they were still removing the couple's luggage from the plane, but Mrs. Wang wasn't having any of it and started demanding if they knew who she was. Yeah, we know. You're the internet's newest darling. Enjoy!
Say no to safe spaces on YouTube. Support TomoNews at patreon.com/TomoNews. Utah man steals stranger's boarding pass to sneak past airport security. 61-year-old Michael Salata was arrested on November 5th after attempting to board a Southwest Airlines flight from Salt Lake City to Oakland, California, using a stolen boarding pass. Salata picked up the boarding pass from a self-check-in kiosk after it was accidentally left there by a woman. After using it to go through the airport security check and being cleared by Transportation Security Administration officials, he checked in at the flight gate and was caught only after the woman whose boarding pass he used tried to check in using a replacement ticket on her phone. When confronted by airport police, he made it seem like the boarding pass was incorrectly printed or that he grabbed the wrong one. Salata has had multiple brushes with the law. He was charged with misdemeanor lewdness after exposing himself at a playground and was placed on Utah's sex offender registry in 2012. Salt Lake Airport police are currently investigating Salata for fraudulent handling of a legal document, which is a third-degree felony.
Trains in the U.S. could soon adopt airport-level security measures. Amtrak is stepping up security measures on trains after an attack on a high-speed train in France was foiled on August 21st, and ahead of Pope Francis's visit to the United States next month. Amtrak has a 500-officer police force, as well as New York Metropolitan Transit Authority Police and a TSA program to assist with security in the Northeast Corridor. But many small train stations have little security, which means anyone could potentially run right up to a train and get on it without being stopped or asked questions. The most sensitive target at the moment seems to be the Northeast Corridor between New York and Washington, which will see an increase in ridership during the Pope's visit next month. Homeland Security already deploys what are called Viper teams along the Northeast Corridor, which include agents in uniform and bomb-sniffing dogs, as well as agents out of uniform who blend in with passengers to detect any suspicious activity. Unlike at U.S. airports, mandatory full-body scans have not been introduced, but the Viper program, which has a budget of more than $100 million, is expanding, which could result in a huge deal of annoyance for travelers who choose to take trains specifically to avoid invasions of their privacy and airport-level security scanning.